What's good, YouTube? It's JR, not as you already know, and I'm back again with another lit video. Hope you all are doing good. Well, in today's video, I'm bringing a very important topic into the video, and if you have been watching my previous videos, I actually stated somewhere that this channel is all about adding value to your daily life. So it's not like it's something. So in today's video, we are actually talking about ways to create generational wealth. So if you actually look well, some people by age of 80, 75, 80, they tend to lose what everything they work for because they didn't actually have a game plan for their kids, and they didn't actually know to maintain their way to pass it on to the next generation. So by the end of this video, you actually going to understand what it means to create generational wealth and to have a game plans for your kids. So without wasting lots of your time, we're just gonna rush right into the video. So the first thing we're gonna mention right here to number one is buy a land. Buy land, because if you look at the world, there's a fixed amount of land space in the earth. So imagine you buying a piece of the earth. And there's also something you need to understand about personal wealth and family wealth. So if you have have some certain amount of money in your bank account, that's liquid wealth. The amount of money in your bank account, that's personal wealth, and you might blow it up by petty spending around. So if you actually invest in wealth, if you actually invest in assets like land, and it's illiquid, and sometimes imagine the mind-blowing of the increase in population in the world today. So people are likely always in demand for space to build, to live, to rent for a lot of purposes. So I actually think land is actually a very good asset to buy to maintain generational wealth, because you can use it for a lot of purposes. You can rent it out, you can build rental property. So buy lots of land, let your children hold on to them. With the increase in population, land will always be in demand, and it increases in value over time. You don't need to sell them, you can use them in lots of forms to generate income. So as we go further, I'm gonna tell you a lot of things you can do with land. So you don't need to sell them, you can even use to get loans from banks and So the second thing I'll mention right here is buy cash flowing properties, and the golden guards of these cash flowing properties is rentals, apartments, hotels, commercial properties. With properties like this, what do? You actually buy, you hold, you wait, and you cash in. What does it mean? You rent them out, you buy them, you rent them out. You don't sell them, you rent them out. As long as they are still in demand, you keep renting them out. It brings a whole lot of passive income to the table, so you don't have to sell them. You can use them to acquire more wealth, more generational wealth, instead of selling them for money. As long as you don't sell them, they will forever put food on your table, as long as they will be in demand. So throughout your life, always try to buy at least 2 rental property or 3. You're gonna make a lot of money from them. So for people who always need homes, people always travel to nice hotels, business people always need shops to sell out their goods and services. So rental properties are actually very good assets for generational wealth. So the next thing we mentioned in our chair, it's build evergreen businesses, because there are some businesses won't even survive that first year. But if you look at it with the world, with the increase of population and everything, there is a need for food and shelter. People can't survive without food and shelter. So if you go into ventures like this, agriculture, real estate and stuff, there will always be an increase in demand for stuff like this, and people will always need them. For people can't survive without those products, so always, because they increase in with demand over time. And always build build a brand, because when you leave the world, the brand name will still be selling in decades. There are a lot of successful brands who still sell from the 90s, 60s, still they are still selling. So a brand name will always sell, will always be there, and people will still consume the product. So it's a very good way for generational wealth. The next thing I'm explaining right here is the policy of buy, borrow, and die. So I know it's kind of strange to a lot of you people about the policy of buy, borrow and die. So I'm gonna explain to you right now. So let's proceed. This is a very useful information you're gonna get right here about generational wealth with the policy of buy, borrow and die. It's actually a secret to generational wealth. So the things we do in life, on our daily life, is what you buy, what you do with it, and what is going to happen after you die. So a lot of times when you get assets, you borrow against them, because you can't pay, you don't pay tax on borrowed money. So you use your assets, you buy assets, you borrow against them, because you don't pay tax on borrowed assets, and with that you maintain your asset, and you can still use borrowed money to acquire more assets while you are paying them. So it's a very good way to create generational wealth. You buy, you use them, to borrow against them. Actually, it's a very smart way of maintaining wealth and passing it on to your next generation. It's actually what a lot of rich people out there they do. So it's a very useful piece of information you should practice. So the next thing we're gonna mention right here is keep compounding wealth and knowledge. These two go hand in hand. The more you learn, the more you earn. First of all, you learn, then you remove the L and you earn. That's why you see a lot of rich people, they read a lot, because wealth is between those letters they read and study. The more you get information, the more you learn, the more you expand your brain, the more you have this connection in creating wealth. Because the more you know, the more mental connection you create, and this transforms to wealth. So it's always good to learn more, so you get exposed, you know a lot of things to do, and the more you can make higher returns in wealth. So it's the reason why you have to read, you have to learn a lot, so you can make a lot of money, you can get more knowledge about wealth. Wealth is actually the last thing we mentioned right here. So hope this video was useful. If it was useful, please don't forget to go back and click the like button, and if you're here for the first time, please make sure to subscribe. And if you have anything to add, you can drop in the comment section. Thank you all for sticking out to this very end, and I hope to see you again in the next video. Stay blessed.